Hey there, and welcome to a deep dive tailored just for you. So it seems you're setting your sights on becoming a manufacturing manager.
An exciting career move, for sure.
It is, and luckily for you, we're diving deep into RoleCatcher's resources.
We are to give you the inside track.
Exactly. And believe me, there's a lot to unpack.
There is.
RoleCatcher has this amazing career guide designed specifically for aspiring manufacturing managers.
It's like having a roadmap that breaks down everything.
It really does. Take the What They Do section, for example.
Right.
It explains how manufacturing managers are essentially the conductors of the production orchestra, bringing all the different instruments together to create a beautiful symphony of a final product.
That's a great analogy. And you know what I find fascinating is how this guide doesn't shy away from the demanding aspects of the job. Like, it highlights that fast-paced, high-pressure environment,
Yeah,
the need to adapt to new technologies constantly, and the possibility of long hours.
for sure.
It begs the question, does this align with what you're looking for in a career?
Right. They definitely don't sugarcoat it.
No, they don't.
It's a demanding role, no question.
It is.
But there's a reason they also highlight the high earning potential
Absolutely.
and significant opportunities for advancement. Plus, think about the satisfaction of making a real tangible impact on a company's success. That's got to be pretty rewarding.
It is.
Now, let's talk about the concrete steps you can take, because RoleCatcher really excels at providing those. First up, education. They emphasize the importance of a bachelor's degree in a relevant field.
This makes sense.
It does. But what's even more critical is real-world experience. Internships, entry-level positions, anything to get your foot in the door.
Absolutely. And this is where those less obvious aspects of the role come into play.
Okay.
You need to be someone who thrives under pressure, embraces new challenges, can think on their feet.
And talk about thinking on your feet. The guide mentions that a whopping 70% of a manufacturing manager's role involves monitoring. You've really got to have your finger on the pulse of everything.
You do. Absolutely. And that constant monitoring requires a specific set of skills.
It does.
You know, this isn't a learn it once and you're done kind of field. You have to commit to continuous learning,
Wow.
attending industry conferences, obtaining certifications like Six Sigma, which focuses on minimizing defects and maximizing quality.
Or even something like lean manufacturing, which is all about streamlining processes and eliminating waste.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate the value of staying updated on the latest industry publications.
Yeah.
Thankfully, RoleCatcher lends a helping hand by providing a curated list of those professional organizations and resources right there in their guide.
They really have thought of everything.
They have.
And to encourage long-term thinking, they even break down the typical career progression. So you can envision starting at an entry-level role and climbing that ladder to senior management.
Makes sense.
But let's be real. Before you can climb that ladder,
Yeah.
you need to ace the interview.
You do.
And that's where RoleCatcher truly shines.
They do.
Their interview prep features are incredibly comprehensive.
They are.
They have this massive library of over 120,000 interview questions.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
And it's not just the quantity of questions that's impressive, it's the quality. They provide context for each question, explaining what the interviewer is really trying to gauge.
Exactly. For example, one question they highlight is, how do you ensure that manufacturing processes are safe for employees? It might seem straightforward, but they explain how this question reveals a lot about how much you prioritize workplace safety,
Oh, absolutely.
which is a crucial factor in manufacturing.
Of course, of course. Yeah, and RoleCatcher really empowers you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't just throw information at you, they provide the tools and guidance to make that information actionable.
Right.
For instance, remember that section on career stages?
Yeah.
They walk you through what a typical career path might look like, starting with those crucial entry-level roles.
Yeah. And they don't just talk about it in a vague sense. They provide these really specific illustrative examples,
Right.
like the one about a manufacturing technician who talks about their experience operating and troubleshooting equipment.
Exactly.
It gives you a real-world glimpse into what those early roles actually entail.
It does. It shows you how the skills you're learning, whether it's through a textbook or on-the-job training, actually translate into real-world applications.
I like that.
And speaking of skills, I was incredibly impressed by the depth of RoleCatcher's skills analysis.
Oh, yeah.
They break down not just the core functions of a manufacturing manager, but also the essential knowledge and abilities you need to truly excel.
Okay, so this is where your existing experience could really give you a leg up.
For sure.
They highlight the importance of being well-versed in methodologies like lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, and quality management systems.
Absolutely. These are areas where your background could be incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
But it's not enough to have learned these things in the past. The manufacturing world is dynamic.
It's always changing.
It's constantly evolving. So how do you stay ahead of the curve?
Well, that's another thing RoleCatcher addresses head on.
Oh, okay.
They have this whole section devoted to staying updated.
Right.
They recommend attending industry conferences and workshops,
Yeah.
joining relevant professional organizations, becoming part of that ongoing conversation within the industry.
Right. And staying current on those all-important industry publications.
Yes.
They even provide direct links to some of these organizations and resources right within the guide. It's like they've created a personalized roadmap for your ongoing professional development.
It's pretty amazing. So we've talked about the core responsibilities, the essential skills, how to nail that interview. It seems like RoleCatcher has truly thought of everything.
They've certainly covered a lot of ground, but here's the crucial takeaway. All of this information is only as valuable as what you choose to do with it.
Right.
You know, they've equipped you with a comprehensive toolbox, but you're the one who needs to build something amazing with those tools.
It's like they're handing you the keys to a high-performance race car, but you're the one who has to get behind the wheel and drive it to victory.
Exactly. And that brings us to what I believe is one of the most valuable aspects of RoleCatcher, their emphasis on continuous learning and development.
Okay.
Remember, the manufacturing landscape is not static. It's constantly changing, which means you need to be adaptable, always willing to learn and grow throughout your career.
That's a really good point. This isn't a field where you can just coast on yesterday's knowledge. You have to stay curious, keep asking questions, and be receptive to new ideas and approaches. Which actually reminds me of another insightful question from their interview prep section.
Oh, what is it?
This one really struck me.
Okay.
How do you ensure that manufacturing operations comply with relevant regulations and standards? They emphasize that a manufacturing manager isn't just responsible for production. They're responsible for creating a safe, ethical, and compliant work environment.
Right. It speaks volumes about the level of responsibility inherent in this role.
It does.
You're not just managing processes, you're managing people and ensuring their well-being.
Absolutely. And that's no small feat, which is why I appreciate that RoleCatcher also provides guidance on managing stress and maintaining a healthy work-life balance.
Yeah, it's essential, especially in a field as demanding as manufacturing.
For sure.
They highlight the importance of delegation, setting realistic expectations, and prioritizing self-care, all crucial skills for any manager, but especially in this field.
It is a marathon, not a sprint.
That's true.
And pacing yourself is crucial.
It really is.
RoleCatcher seems to understand this because they offer helpful tips on staying organized
Yeah.
and managing your time. Effectively, essential skills for any leader, really.
Absolutely.
But you know what I find especially valuable is that they don't just focus on the technical side of things.
Right.
They emphasize the importance of soft skills,
Yeah.
like communication and teamwork.
Oh, absolutely. And rightfully so. Those skills are absolutely essential in a role where you're constantly coordinating with various people and departments.
Like, think back to that orchestra analogy.
Yeah.
A conductor needs to communicate their vision, clearly motivate their musicians, and build strong relationships within the orchestra to achieve a harmonious outcome.
It's all connected.
It is, and that's where RoleCatcher really shines.
They do.
They tie all these different aspects together seamlessly.
They've provided you with a strong foundation of knowledge, practical tips for landing that dream job, and even guidance on navigating your career path once you're in.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a challenging but incredibly rewarding journey ahead of you.
Indeed. But with the tools and resources RoleCatcher provides, you'll be well prepared to overcome those challenges and thrive in this dynamic field.
Absolutely. They've given you the map. Now it's time to chart your own course.
I like that.
But before you embark on this exciting journey, we would leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Now that you have a taste of what it takes to be a successful manufacturing manager, ask yourself this. What unique skills and experiences can you bring to the table? What sets you apart from the competition?
Good call.
Keep those questions in mind as you navigate your path, and remember, the future of manufacturing is waiting to be shaped by innovative leaders like you.